This is the new Insta360 Luna Ultra, and this is the most anticipated pocket vlogging camera of 2026. Since these cameras are meant to do vlogging adventures, let's make this a vlog video. And I'm going to be giving my review of the Insta360 Luna Ultra as a vlogging camera. Now, it's a beautiful, sunny and 66 degrees here in San Juan Islands, Washington, and honestly, I am in love with it. If you've never been to San Juan Islands, it is so beautiful. There's a whole bunch of like small little quaint shops, a lot of just like products that are locally made, and it feels like a really small town. It is about 2 hours northwest of Seattle. It is definitely a tourist attraction, so if you are visiting Washington, this is a great place to take your family. It is only accessible by ferry and or boat, so keep that in mind. So this is the example of the Luna Ultra tracking me. I'm using the detachable display and it's doing a pretty good job. I can hide behind something, so let's see if it's going to track me like this. I hid behind the bush or the tree here and it looks like it picked me right back up. It's actually pretty impressive. You can actually adjust your zoom while you're in like deep track mode, which is really simple, especially with this detachable display. You can zoom in ×3. This is at 4K 60 with 3 times zoom. And again, obviously, if I was going to go further back like this, it would still track me. One of the things is if you're going to do like auto track or deep track while you are actually using the detachable display, you have to make sure that you're actually still looking at the camera, because that entire frame that I was just at, I was looking at this the entire time. I wasn't looking at you all. One of those things you just have to get used to. This detachable display just changes everything up. I love the fact that I can set up my frame from, I don't know, however many feet away. I can set up my camera over there and never have to guess if I'm in frame because of this. Historically, with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and or other cameras, you would have to kind of guess on whether or not you are in the shot or maybe things are not focused. But with this, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So one of the things I'm not overly fond of for this particular pocket camera is the fact that the display, the detachable display, is actually pretty laggy. Sometimes whenever you detach it from the actual camera, it looks like it's super pixelated and there is a lot of latency whenever you're trying to control your camera with the thumbstick. Now let's be real. Cameras eat first whenever it comes down to food, and Product Showcase on the Luna Ultra does an amazing job. If you're not familiar with what Product Showcase is, it's basically you have a thing. Let's say it's the detachable display, or maybe it's a burger. What Product Showcase is going to do is it's going to basically focus on whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. This right here, whatever the product is going to be in focus, while everything else in the background is going to be nice and blurred out. And so you can see as I'm putting it closer to the camera, everything else blurs out, whereas I kind of zoom out, you can see things kind of stabilize. And Product Showcase is going to be a perfect example for those tech product reviewers like myself, or just product reviewers in general, where you want to really emphasize on whatever it is that you're trying to show. So this is the Insta360 Luna Ultra without a mic attached to it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my Mic Pro and let's see attach and see how the quality changes after that. So it tells me that the Mic Pro has been attached, and so now I am talking which one sounds better? Naturally and obviously, the Mic Pro version is going to sound better. The noise cancellation is actually much better. So for the Mic Pro, and I believe also for the Mic Air, you are able to press on the recording button twice, and that's going to activate different levels of noise cancellation. All right, so being the tourist today, I'm actually going to sit down with Captain Warbass here. He is reading some type of article, and there he is. And you will be able to see what Captain Warbass has done within the San Juan Islander kind of newspaper article that he's holding. And so this, again, just being like a normal everyday person vlogging. Sure, you could take your phone out and do all this. However, this is just like kind of regular, how does the camera perform with everyday activities? You can see here that there's quite a lot of sound, but with the Insta360 Mic Pro, it should be quiet. And then you should also know that the dynamic range is doing a pretty good job of getting like all of the colors for myself as well as Captain Warbass here, because it is bright behind me, but you can still see me. You can still see Captain Warbass. If you look very closely, you can see his puppy. So hello, puppy. Now, as I hang out here with Captain Warbass, I do want to say that you can record an 8K resolution at 30 frames per second. I feel like the 8K is nicer, but it's ever so slightly nicer. I don't feel like the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes down to a larger file size, filling up your internal or your external memory just for a very small amount of resolution bump. So you'll notice that as you're using the iLog or any of the Dolby or one of the default settings on the Luna Ultra, I personally believe that the actual exposure is a little bit on the bright side. You can see here that the ferry behind me is actually going to be kind of blown out, and it's actually going to be even more blown out if you look at the sky just above the ferry. So one of the things you can do about this is go into the settings. You can adjust some of the composition, like the exposure, the sharpness, things like that. And so it really does help, especially if you want to go ahead and get like all of that minute power to adjust how you want to record your flavor of video. But the thing is you can also shoot an iLog. I feel like some of the colors within the Insta360 Luna Ultra is a little bit on the vibrant side. I do like how it captures my skin tone, but I don't like how sometimes it feels a little bit too saturated with just like natural colors. Now, to add on top of that, the color science for the Luna Ultra is a little bit funky, because if you're like zooming in from like 1x to 2x to 3x to 6x to 12x, the color changes, and I don't know why that is, but I did notice that if you're going to be zooming in, the color changes from like a blue to a green, and for whatever reason I can't replicate it, but I did notice it as I was recording and just doing some of the like vlog type of activities. And so even though I'm not like a fan of shooting an iLog or log type recordings, I am doing it a lot with the Insta360 Luna Ultra just because I don't want to falsify the colors. Now, if you don't care about the color saturation and you just want to kind of record, by all means, this is going to be perfect for you. So even though there is a little bit of a learning curve, the learning curve is actually really easy to overcome. You're not going to die on the hill with it, because the way Insta360 designed the graphical user interface, or the GUI, is actually really easy to learn, especially if you just dedicate some time to learning where's what and knowing what option does what. Now, I've gone about 8 hours now where I have actually been using the Insta360 Luna Ultra as just a vlogging camera, pretty much capturing anything that I can when it comes to like vlogging type things. I mean, I've recorded a lot of things today, and shockingly, the battery has done a really good job. Now, I am only halfway through my day. I still have another few hours here in San Juan, but I can actually plug this into one of my portable chargers, and then I don't doubt that both the detachable display as well as the actual camera itself is going to do a really good job in getting back in the game. It is important to know that if you are going to be doing long vlogging experiences and adventures like I am today, you should probably invest into the Insta360 Luna Ultra battery handle, just so that way it can extend the life of your vlogging activities and you can have less downtime and more uptime. So one of the things I have to admit that I liked about having a Pocket 3 was the build quality. Even though it wasn't very ergonomic, ergonomic. I felt like the plastics were very qualitative, and it feels like the Insta360, it is actually qualitative. However, it seems like some of the build quality is questionable. For instance, like the scroll button on the actual camera, it feels like it jiggles a little bit too much. And then whenever I'm pressing on the thumbstick, it feels like sometimes when I'm pressing on a direction, sometimes it will feel like the button doesn't respond, or maybe it stops prematurely as if like the button has reset. And the actual plastic of the body of the camera feels a little bit less qualitative. Like, it feels like cheaper plastic. Now, these are all subjective to me. I mean, honestly, that could just be a Derek thing, and you may actually feel like it's more qualitative than the DJI Osmo Pocket series. But for me, it feels like the Insta360 Luna Ultra just feels like some of the buttons and some of the build doesn't feel as qualitative. The thing that really gets me is the fact that the zoom button just jiggles a little bit, and it feels like it's not a smooth push or pull whenever you are using that zooming feature. Now, the next set of things that I'm not overly fond of about this camera, and this isn't exclusive to the Insta360 Luna Ultra, is actually going to be the fact that the graphical user interface is not customizable. I know most cameras, the Pocket 3, the Pocket 4, the soon-to-be Pocket 4 Pro, all the other Pocket cameras, the GoPros, they all didn't have customizable user interfaces. And that's what I wish that the graphical user experience was with the Insta360 Luna Ultra, is that I want to be able to customize like where a certain button is when I go under settings, just like a simple drag and drop, as if you're trying to rearrange an app on your home screen. Something that is exclusive that I'm not overly fond of for the Insta360 Luna Ultra is going to be the customizable buttons on the actual display. If you're not familiar, there's going to be a left and a right button just underneath the display, and if you single press or double press on them, they're going to activate some type of customized action. The thing is that the actions are kind of limited. I don't understand why Insta360 would limit software activities or actions to like less than 5 customizable options. It's literally just a quick action button that's going to activate a feature that's already built into the camera. I don't know why this is a limitation, but it is a limitation, and actually quite frustrating, because I know the camera is actually quite capable of doing a whole bunch of cool things, and I would like to be able to customize that and kind of marry those customizable actions to those single or double presses on those customizable buttons. But again, it's limited to about 4 or 5 actions on each of those buttons, and it just, I don't know, I just hope it's something that can be updated to have a little bit more freedom and customization in a firmware or software update in the very near future. So some of the accessories that I wish I had today during my vlogging adventures for the San Juan Islands is going to be, one, the battery extension handle. That is actually super critical for me, especially because I don't want to have to carry around an extra battery pack. Another accessory that I recommend that you use is going to be ND filters. It is super sunny today, so I feel like I'm actually being blown out color-wise because the sun is just like super bright. And the camera for the Luna Ultra seems to be a little bit more on the overexposed side. One of the accessories I definitely recommend that you have is going to be the Mic Pro or the Mic Air that Insta360 offers for their Insta360 cameras. It really does help with the audio, but I do have some segments earlier in the video that actually have me not speaking with the mic. I may have done that accidentally. If you so happen to not want to use one of the wireless mics, the Luna Ultra actually has a pretty robust mic system. You can actually have it set up so that way it's cardioid, meaning it's going to capture audio from like a conal perspective from how the display is looking for. And then there are other options where you could have it like 360, or maybe it's going to focus on the left side or the right side. And that's actually something that I love that I never actually thought that I needed. Not that I've ever used it, but I do like the fact that I have that option. In today's vlogging adventure, I actually did use the Insta360 Luna Ultra from 100% to 0%. I was actually in the middle of recording when the battery said, nope, I'm done. But the thing is that I was actually able to charge it with my portable battery from like 0 to 80% relatively quickly. Continuing on with things that I wish were a little bit better with the Luna Ultra, and these next few comments aren't about the camera itself, but more so about the accessories that are actually not very very abundant for this new camera. I was hoping by now companies on Amazon or Temu or whatever would have all these kind of third-party accessories, but there really isn't any. I was actually scouring the ends of the Amazon internet so that way I can check and see if there's a more compact mounting system for the Insta360 Luna Ultra. But I will just have to be patient because I know it's only a matter of time until all these other companies on Amazon or Temu or whatever is going to have a bunch of accessories, and then my wallet's going to be hurting. I've already kind of mentioned it, but the detachable display is really laggy. I'm really hoping that the software and the firmware can be optimized in some way, shape, or form, so that way whenever I do detach the display from the camera itself, I'm seeing at least a near one-to-one depiction of what my camera is seeing. 100% of the time when I do detach the display from the camera, I do notice that it says weak signal. I notice that the quality gets really bad, and then the lag to actually control the camera is really slow. So you do have to be patient with it if you are going to be using the detachable display. In terms of software, one of the things that I actually do not like about the Insta360 Luna Ultra is the fact that I noticed that when my Luna Ultra was turned off for an extended amount of time, whenever I flipped the camera to turn on, it actually had like a 5 to 7 second delay. And anyone who's in a cinematography, content creation, or photography world, people in those kind of industries will know that that delay, it can actually cost you that precious moment. Okay, so the Insta360 Luna Ultra is a very good camera to take if you're going to be going on any type of vlogging adventure. The detachable display is fantastic. The zoom quality is unbeatable in a pocket camera. The smart features, if you will, are very good. And then also kind of like the scenes and the profiles and the customizable buttons, it's all going to be really helpful when it comes down to helping you develop that vlog, especially if you're a solo content creator or doing like a solo vlog type situation. Now, I wouldn't say that the Insta360 Luna Ultra is the best camera, because even though the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 and the Osmo Pocket 4 Pro is not going to be sold in the United States, it doesn't mean that those cameras don't exist. I can't really compare the two cameras because I don't have the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 series, but my experience with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the Insta360 Luna Ultra, I would say that they both have their pros and their cons. And so I'm going to try and keep the comparison between the Pocket 3 and the Luna Ultra to a minimum. But I just want to say that if you already have the Pocket 3, unless you really want the detachable display like I did, or you want the zoom capabilities of the Luna Ultra like I did, the Pocket 3 is still a fantastic vlogging camera. If it was your birthday, or maybe it's Christmas time, or maybe you just actually have extra money laying around and you wanted to upgrade to the Luna Ultra, this is going to be a fantastic camera to upgrade to. Now, a lot of tech reviewers are going to say that this is a first generation camera, and they are 100% correct. And the stigma about first generation items or products like the Luna Ultra is typically about something like, oh, you're going to be an early adopter or you're a beta tester and you should wait for the second or third generation in order for that company to develop and mature their product. Well, honestly, I feel like in my heart of hearts that even though this is a first generation product, I actually feel like Insta360 did an amazing job. Now, I'm not going to say that it's a perfect camera. I am going to say that it is really wildly hyped, but some of the hype is legit. There's a lot of software and firmware updates that Insta360 has to deploy to the Luna Ultra for it to be perfect, but at the same time, it is a really good first generation product. I hope in the very near future, Insta360 deploys a firmware or software update for the detachable display, and then also just kind of like tightening up the color science and the graphical user interface. Now, if you got this far in the video and you've watched it all the way through, one, thank you for just listening to me for however long this video is going to be. But two, I recognize that this video is not reviewing the Insta360 as a whole. There's a lot of features, a lot of capabilities that I did not even touch on in this video because I wanted to make this like a real day in the life type of vlogging camera. In the very near future, my next video for the Insta360 Luna Ultra is going to be a more technical review. It's going to talk about the tech specs. It's going to talk about all of the features and capabilities. And that video is going to be me giving my full overall review and opinion of my Luna Ultra. So if that interests you, make sure you hit like and subscribe down below. I'll see you in the next one.